Meanwhile, Ukraine has signed a political association agreement with the European Union, a deal similar to the one that the former President Viktor Yanukovych withdrew from, which of course led to the protests in Ukraine and his overthrow. Western nations and Ukraine are awaiting Russian President Vladimir Putin's next steps. CCTV's Natalie Feary has our report from Moscow.
Moscow's cathedral. You may think it is centuries old, but the original was destroyed during Soviet times and rebuilt after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Crimea becoming part of the Russian Federation does not represent the start of a rebuilding of the old Soviet Empire. But the ratcheting up of sanctions from the West shows there are major worries about Russia reasserting its role in the former Soviet space. And despite the pain sanctions could cause, they may not have much impact on the Kremlin's outlook.
There is this sense that we are not to be intimidated. You are talking about sanctions, you are talking about we cannot do what we believe is our national interest. You are not there to tell us. We will do everything as we see right, and we're not to be intimidated by sanctions.
Russia has hit back with travel bans on United States officials, but there are mixed signals on what Russia will do next. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said retaliatory measures are being prepared. The president appeared to indicate a more measured approach, at least regarding Ukraine.
I think we should hold off with retaliatory measures. This, first of all, applies to a visa regime with Ukraine. If we introduce a visa regime, innocent Ukrainians will suffer.
The response of some in Russia is that sanctions by the European Union in particular will backfire.
Europe will suffer from imposing sanctions, particularly because they are dependent on energy from Russia. So they are a double-edged sword.
And while possible trade and economic sanctions could have severe consequences on the economies of both Russia and the West, analysts in Russia warn they could also have implications for other regional hotspots. The crisis in Syria and negotiations over Iran's nuclear program are among the issues that could become harder to tackle with Russia and the West at loggerheads. Russia has already threatened to change its stance on Iran. So a rapid deterioration of relations could have a major impact far beyond Ukraine. Natalie Feary, CCTV, Moscow.